Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Love It to Shove It. Can you believe it? It's our episode number 117. Lots of fun when we are here, when we are talking on different topics. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, hello, my name is Irina Portnova, and I'm all about manifestation and how can you manifest that love and relationship and how you can manifest the happiness and connection with your significant other. And I'm here today in the studio with Bruno Gil. Bruno, would you like to say a couple of words?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, hello everybody. How are you all doing today? Like Irina said, my name is Bruno. I'm a self-coach. Uh, that's really what the people when it comes to their self-love. Try to obviously have a good conversations about what you can do with them, self-love, and but mainly obviously address any fears, any concerns, address any traumas faced in the past. We all things that put us confident in ourselves. And the goal is to be confident in ourselves, so we can be more free. And obviously,
Bruno, can you check? For some reason, I can't hear you well. Maybe it's the mic or the headphones. You're on.
Can you hear me?
Much better now. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just say again because we couldn't hear anything?
Yeah. No, sorry. No, so I was saying obviously, my name is Bruno. I work with people on their self-love. Try to address any fears, any concerns that people might have that stop people from loving themselves, being confident. And I do believe that the solution for most of our problems in life is just the confidence to overcome them, the confidence to deal with them, and the confidence to just live right and just do what what mainly we believe that nobody we could, but mainly we believe we can't as well, right? So I think that's all very needed because it gives us freedom and it makes us happy and fulfilled.
Awesome. Yes, great. And today we have a beautiful topic because a lot of times when our life falls apart, whether this is relationship, love, or career, or our identity, it's very easy to believe that we are starting from zero. But the truth is that we are not starting from scratch. We are starting from the experience. Every heartbreak, every ending, every so-called failure has left us much stronger, much wiser, and more prepared for what's next. And the question isn't, can I start over? But the actual question is, how do I use everything I've learned to rise higher this time? And I just love this conversation because, again, a lot of times we could be defeated when something did not work out in our past relationship. And there is that expression that says, oh my God, I wasted so many years with that person, right? So we just want to flip the script and say it's not about that. Every experience that we have actually contributes to our growth, contributes to our soul evolution, and every experience is teaching us something. And that's exactly what we are going to talk about. So I just wanted to start with my personal share that I've been recently divorced a little bit over a year. And I just wanted to say that a lot of time in the society, when we look at the divorce, it can be perceived as failure, like something did not work. I failed to be in that relationship. I failed to be a great spouse, whatever it is, right? So the way we can start looking at these things, it's not the failure. It's actually a lot of times it's when we choose ourselves, when we stop being more convenient for the other person, and when we start understanding that our priorities matter. And the more we learn with that, and it's interesting because especially in the field of mindset, in our industry, when I talk to the people, it's very funny because a lot of times when you say it to anybody in the common hour thinking people, everybody says, I'm so sorry. But in our community, everybody says, congratulations. Because people really understand that these kind of a step that we are taking in life actually is something to propel us to the next chapter in our life. And sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, every change, the way I look at every change is there for a reason. And I always look at it as something greater, something bigger that we are here to experience in this life. And that's exactly what it is, right? And we are not actually starting from the scratch because, like I mentioned, we gained our experience. And if anything, we become more aware of any red flags, and our non-negotiables become more stronger. We know our boundaries, and we know exactly what we are going to tolerate, or what is something that we are just not going to be able to forgive and move on with life. Bruno, what comes?
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna have to disagree with you. Not on everything though, but I do agree with a lot of things. But I do believe it's complete failure. Um, because, but then again, it's failure from both sides. It's failure from both partners. You set yourself to believe in something. You set yourself to believe in the relationship, work on the relationship, be there for each other. And the reality is that you didn't. You stopped believing in each other. You stopped being there for each other. You stopped working on it as much as you were working on it before. You didn't make any efforts in trying to rekindle the magic that created the relationship. And obviously, both are responsible for it wearing it off. Now, starting over isn't from scratch because now you can go into the next relationship. You can go into your next business, whether if it's business, you can go into your next friendships, right? And you can, now spot exactly. Um, is this going to be the same as my past, or is this going to be now something different? Like, am I going to self sabotage myself again, right? Or am I going to now like actually go for this the right way, right? Uh, and so that's the mentality for me. I think for me the mentality is accepting that yes, it was a failure, and that's fine. That doesn't make you bad person. That doesn't make you horrible. That doesn't make you dumb or stupid. Um, it's just it comes from humility, right? It's important that we are humble with ourselves and we understand. Okay, yeah, I completely fucked this up, and my partner
Mhm.
did as well. I want a partner who will now fight with me until the end, or has the good traits that I saw on my past one, but deals with certain situations or certain problems, in a different way that, for example, my past partner didn't, right? Because we're always looking for better, right? We're always looking for
Mhm.
better for ourselves. We're always looking to be around better people, have better money, in our houses, have better cars. We're always looking for better, 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 right? Everybody wants better. But if people self sabotage themselves into getting better, when they have the opportunity of getting better, they end up with the same people, with the same problems, with the same experience, with the same situations. This loop, right? And the problem of getting on the loop is that people start repeating the same things over and over and over again, and they start to believe that they're worthy of that and nothing else, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's nobody's, I say, fault but the people themselves, right? And so it's important to take one step at a time. Starting over isn't from scratch; it's from experience, right? That yes, what I believe. But yes, I think in my perception, taking full accountability, saying, fucked up,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
or she fucked up, we both fucked up, And now obviously we're going to the future, and we're going to the future with new open doors, with fresh air, right? We go into search of new things, better things, right? But are you like a worse person? No. Are you dumb? You can't learn from your past mistakes? Of course you can do it. Of course you can be better. Of course you can do better, right? So that's what I believe.
Well, I just actually want to reframe that failure, because failure is
Yeah.
the foundation for your next level of love. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the foundation of it. Each ending
That's
reveals what you won't tolerate again and what you actually need, right? You now more aware what you actually need in that relationship and how to
Mhm.
choose better next time. For instance, when we break up, it teaches us that I can't thrive in the relationship where my voice isn't heard. And that clarity becomes a non negotiable moving forward. So, again, the way I look at it, there are no failures, there are just lessons to learn. And that's exactly what we are here for. As being humans, we all make mistakes, and those mistakes are there for our own evolution. And I just wanted to give one tool, which is, instead of asking, why did I fail? Ask a better question saying, what did this teach me that makes me stronger for what's next? I love to
Mhm.
reframe a lot of things because, again, everybody is living from their way of perception. And it's great that we have different opinions because, again, it's not that one of us is right, another one is wrong. It's whatever you are connecting to, and to each its own. And I do not love to kind of pound on anybody, and even on myself. I'm very easily forgiving, and I am that person that I always reframe things, because again, it's all the learning lessons. There is no such a thing that, like, you screwed up the relationship. That was meant to happen, again, for our own evolution, because if we are not learning the lessons, that means we are not growing, that means we are not evolving, and that means we are just here without any purpose. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Do you want
Yeah.
to
No.
add
No.
something?
Yeah. No. I mean, honestly, I think you said it all. I think, yeah. I think if you're not learning, you're not growing. And you're talking
Mm-hmm,
about
mm-hmm,
forgiveness. Like, forgiveness is the foundation for moving on, right? Like,
mm-hmm,
if you don't forgive, you it's like, so for example, like, I mean, it was a relationship, yes, but
mm-hmm,
this was like 5 6 years ago. It was the first girl I fully loved. I think it was. I do believe it was my first true love. I mean, I gave it all for that relationship. I gave it all. I did everything I could. A lot of things weren't in my control, which I really hated, because we always want to be able to control everything and everybody. And the more we do that, I'd say, like, the more powerful we feel. But that only boosts your ego. And I had to detach myself from it, because it made me really, really angry. The fact that, like, how could she leave me knowing in the situation that I was in, when, like, I did everything that I could to go see her, talk to her, do all these things that, a person of my age at the time would never do. They wouldn't care, maybe they would, but like very few, right? And it still wasn't enough, right? But it's like you said, sometimes certain relationships, they're not meant to last. They're meant to teach you something,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and that taught me a lot. That relationship did teach me a lot, and what it taught me was to love myself more than I love other people. It was to believe in myself more than letting people believe me, you know. And the reality is that, I had to forgive myself first, and we most importantly, because, it's like a lot of times people are like, oh, but they did this to me and I always did my best. I don't have to forgive myself for anything. Yes, you do. You have to forgive yourself for not knowing
Mm-hmm.
better. So I have to understand. I
Mm-hmm.
have to understand that I have to forgive myself for not knowing better, for not choosing better, right? For not dealing with things the best, right? Because that's on you. That's what you did. That's what you said. That's the places you went to. That's the conversations you had and how you dealt with them. That's all on you. You were the one who said those things. You were the one who did those things, right? That's not on
Mhm.
anybody, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I feel that a lot of times it is very, very important that we do come to that inevitable realization, and that will give
Mhm.
you humbleness. And a lot of people see that as like humiliation. They feel like they're humiliating themselves because they're accepting something they don't even agree with. I just think people don't agree with it because they're not seeing it the right way. They don't have the right
Mhm.
perception. And I feel like
Mhm.
the right perception of is no matter what they said, no matter what they did, you also said some stuff. You also did some stuff. So yeah, like you have to forgive yourself for not knowing how to deal with it better, right?
Mhm.
Because maybe if you knew what to say or how to say it, or you knew what to do or how to do it, well, then maybe you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in, or maybe you would, right? Like there's always something for you to forgive yourself for, so you don't do it
Mhm.
again. Like if you never accept that it's your fault, no matter how big, no matter how medium sized or small, well, then you're never going to learn anything. You're never going to grow at anything. You're never going to amount to anything. You're literally never going to amount to anything because you'll always be expecting other people to amount to it for you because it's their fault, right? So why would you
Mhm.
change? So if you don't
Mhm.
accept any fault, right? And when you're starting from scratch, you don't learn. You're just going to keep repeating the same mistakes, meeting different people that will give you the same lessons over and over and over again until you learn your goddamn lesson.
Mhm. Yeah, true. True. I love it. So I just thanks for your perspective. I just want to share the ways that starting over can actually accelerate the journey instead of delaying it. Because starting over, it doesn't mean that going back to square one, right? It means we are just moving forward from the higher level of awareness. And awareness is the key to everything in this life. Now we have more tools. Now we have more clarity and courage than the last time that we started. For instance, once I was after divorce, right now I understand, I have a quicker clarity. I spot anything that doesn't serve me right away, and
Mm.
I do not waste my time. And Bruno knows that, right? And that's exactly what's important, because I know exactly what are my non-negotiable, and I know exactly what I want in the relationship. So I'm not going to waste my time. And that's what's really important to realize. And I just wanted to give a couple of tools. What is something to moving forward with confidence when we have that self-trust, when we have that clarity? We just learn how to own our own story. We stop saying I failed, and we start saying I learned. This is super important.
Mm.
We also want to set clear standards. We
Mm.
want to write down what are our boundaries, what is something that we are not going to tolerate. And sometimes when it's difficult to really know what exactly is our boundaries, just come back to the last relationship and see what something that you did not like. So this way you know what you are going to like and appreciate in the relationship. We
Mm.
also build in the self-trust. We make the small promises to ourselves and we keep them, because this starts to rebuild our confidence. And
Mm.
we just imagine ourselves in that new love or life chapter already thriving. Because when we have that anchor in our vision, not in our past, we know that we can easily move forward.
Mm.
Bruno, would you like to add something?
Yeah, no, what you said was, I think, was really good. I just wanted to add something. Um, it's like, yes, don't see your failures as failures. I mean, you did fail because it didn't last. Like, you were meant to make it last because it
it's in your world, right? Again, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at the experience differently.
Yeah, but let me finish. I understand. Let me finish, and I agree with what you're saying. I wasn't finished. I'm just saying that yes, you failed, guys, but that's fine. Because there's many other things waiting for you in the world, right? And yes, you failed, but there's a possibility to learn, right? So what I do, if I wanted to learn from my failures, which I do, is I self-reflect. I sit my ass down, away from every single bit of noise, and I write down what I want. I write down what went wrong. I write down what happened, I know what it was, whether if it was business, whether if it was, with friends, in love, with my family. I write everything down. I want to know why I got so triggered. I want to know where it started from, how it started, what started it, who started it, right? And amazing. I want to know all those things. So if I know those things and I am able to answer those questions, well, I might get some answers to those questions, right? And then from those questions, I can now write my desires towards those problems not repeating themselves. So now I know what to do and what I want, right? Like for me, that's how I learn, right? I learn by writing down what went wrong and how and why and when and where and right. If you're able to do that and it works, fantastic. Because it does work for me and it did help me a lot these past couple of years. Nobody saying. So, that's a good way to learn.
Yeah, I just love this episode because I feel like it's going to stir some emotions in listeners, and we would love to know your input to see how do you perceive the ending. Is it starting over or starting from the scratch, right? Or is it like really something that you can take the best and you move with that? Because if you are standing in a season of endings, it's a great way to remind ourselves that we are not back at zero. We are carrying every lesson, every scar, and every piece of wisdom forward with ourselves. So starting over doesn't erase our story, it just amplifies it. And now we are not rebuilding from nothing. Now we are rebuilding from our strengths. And that makes this new beginning the most powerful one. All right. I just wanted to finish on this note, unless Bruno, you have something to add to wrap it up.
Not really. I said everything that I had to say, I believe.
All right. Yes. And if you like this episode, or if you think that somebody really can benefit from it, please feel free to share. And also, if you want to comment, just comment and let us know how it landed for you. Were you in the similar experience and how did it work for you? We would love to know, because again, we are doing these episodes for you and we are all learning, we are all growing. There is not a single person on this planet that knows it all, but together we are learning and we are the teachers and we are the students at the same time. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. It was awesome to see you. Share this episode if you feel that it can benefit somebody else, and we'll see you next week. Bye.